All right, what's up, and welcome inside the debut edition of the Press Box. I'm your host, Corey Paulson, your favorite OG. And this program right here is going to be the Players' Choice Football Show. This is your destination every Sunday at 11 a.m. We're taking you up to kickoff like every Sunday from right now today. And then on Wednesday nights, we get you ready for the next and upcoming week, starting with Thursday night football and going all the way through the weekend. So now all the football heads got a place to come, chat, chop it up with some cats who really know the game. Now, the rest of the panel will be joining us in moments. Glad to have everybody here rocking and rolling with us to start this season. Swiper, Bama, what's good? Swipe, what up with you, my man?
Yeah, we living, man. Ready for the NFL season, ready to get in some football, all talk, no narratives. I think one of the best things that people can expect to get on the press box is you're going to get a deep dive into film analysis, what players are doing, what coaches are doing, offensive line play, defensive line play. I think one of the best things about talking about football that there's no way to individualize the sport. Everybody works together on a football field to make one single play successful. And there are so many things that go into teams becoming the best there is in their sport in the AFC and in the NFC. And I'm so excited to get into it, y'all. And also, everybody up here is tapped in and tuned in to fantasy football. So as you're getting ready, y'all, to draft your teams, y'all, August is right around the corner. September's right around the corner. As you're getting ready to put your teams together, we're going to help you put the best possible roster together and also find some sleepers for you in the late rounds and on the waiver wire each and every week. So this is going to be one of the very best football shows on the internet. So I cannot wait to get into it.
Bama, my man, what's good with you?
Man, dog, back like I never left, man. Feels just as good as the first time. Got my brother Swipe up here. We always been hitting at it, you know what I mean? Since the parlay, other PC weekends, we always been hitting at it. But we back, man. Got my other brother, headache brother in crime, J-Rob, you know what I mean? But Corey, we finna have to break you in, brother. I don't think you know how I go over here with the best debates, man. We're not gonna let no craziness slide. Like Swipe said, we go deep dive. Like I said, it's a lot of respect, man. We know the game. I'm excited for it, man. I'm excited to be up here with you guys. Excited to see where this road takes us, man. But I'm ready, bro. Everybody in the chat, man, I'm a chat bandit, man. We've been hitting at it. Every time they see me on playback, we talk about football. We here. We back. We giving y'all what y'all asked for. The Tua Tagovailoa propaganda is in full effect. That's why I had to wear it. So, man, we ready, man.
All right, let's get ready to hop into it. Today we're going to be with everybody. We're going to hop in here and try to give our projections for the upcoming NFL season, right? I'm going to try to guide these fellas along the way because I know how it goes on this channel. I know how y'all get down, talk a lot of trash. Everybody do it real big time. But what you don't understand is the NFL knowledge that I'm about to bring to these gentlemen over the course of the next 4 to 5 months is going to be something that changes their lives. Now, the last time we saw football being played, the Philadelphia Eagles were hosting the Lombardi Trophy. Shout out to Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, fantastic season. Nick Sirianni. The organization is organization in. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to try to name our 7 playoff teams that predict and name the 7 playoff teams from this upcoming season. And Swipe, I want to start in the NFC East with the division champion. Now, this is a division where the champion changes just about every year. Recent years been controlled by the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, with that being said, the Washington Commanders stepped up last year. The Cowboys stepped back. Swipe, who is going to be the NFC East division champion this year?
Well, number one, I want to give a quick shout out. I think that the Commanders have done a great job. I think of putting a roster around Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels, who I think was top 5 quarterback in the NFL last year as a rookie. I think he had a spectacular season. They have a lot of things that they're looking forward to, and I think that team is going to be really good. And I think that that's going to be a real team that's going to make a lot of noise in the NFC, a lot of noise in the NFC East next year. I personally like the fact that they brought in Deebo. I think Deebo is going to have like a real impact on the roster, on this team, on the offense. I think the way they're going to be able to utilize him as a playmaker is going to be big. But y'all, that goes for the Eagles. And I think that when you're in a situation where you're the Philadelphia Eagles, you coming off a Super Bowl, and not just a Super Bowl, a dominant Super Bowl win. And you got, I think, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, who I think is one of the most timely QBs in the league. He knows his role. He doesn't try to outperform the scheme that's in front of him, and he rides every single moment that comes to him. And I think when you're able to be a quarterback at that level, to know when to run, when to pass, where to throw the ball placement, that all matters. And then when you have a host of receiving options like he does, I think they arguably have maybe a top 3 wide receiver duo in the sport, obviously with Smith and Brown. And then you add in, I think, a good tight end room. I would argue they have at least, the very least, a top 2 offensive line in the NFL as well. So for me, it has to be the Eagles. I think Saquon Barkley, who I didn't even get to, I think he's the best running back in the sport. And I think he is going to have another really incredible year with this offensive line. And then now you add in the defense. Now you add in the defensive line with Jalen Carter and them. They got Zach Bond. They got the I think the best inside linebacker in the NFL last year, respect to Fred Warner. And then their cornerback room, Cooper DeJean, Mitchell, like, they're just deep. They're a very functionally sound team. And Bama and J-Rob, I think one of the things that makes them so good, it's not just about depth, but I think their physicality. That is something that really enables them to take it to you on every single possession. And I think because of the interior play, that's probably where it starts and finishes for why the Eagles are going to dominate the NFC East again.
Bama, you want to hop in here right quick? I do want to come back to swipe about something right quick with Bama. Let me get your NFC East champion.
I mean, Swiper might be right, man. I mean, we got to go with the team everybody been crying about all season. Most loaded team, all of that. I mean, why else wouldn't you think they would repeat back? They really didn't lose anybody. Everybody, of course we know, give or take injuries, but this team is just set up to keep winning. They got the perfect quarterback they need, a guy that don't really care about the stats. All they care about is results. I think the team has taken that mentality along with him. They don't care about the clickbait. They don't care about nothing. You saw A.J. Brown in there lifting with the dudes out there in Philly that be killing themselves, Big Patty in them. So, like, you see, like, these dudes are adopted the mentality of, we just want results. I don't care about what it looked like. We just want results. And me as a football, just objectively speaking, before we start pushing narratives, it's hard for me to believe that anybody else besides the Eagles is going to make it back again. That team is loaded. Like I said, they got a good play caller, got a good leader in Jalen Hurts. That run game ain't going nowhere. Saquon is an easily top 2 running back in the league, top 2. He's coming back. AJ Brown, I think Smitty even elevates his game a little bit this year. It's been a lot of disrespect with him this year. I think he steps into that next realm as a top receiver again. Like I said, at defense, you got DeJean. I'm looking for Keely Ringo to step up. These dudes are deep. These dudes are so deep. You know what I mean? We've been talking about their defense and stuff. They lose Slay, but I think Keely Ringo, I think he steps up. I really see the Eagles. I'm not mad at the Commanders though. I like Jaden Daniels a lot. What he showed me last year, I like Jaden Daniels a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if the Green Bay Packers also make some noise. Just from quarterback play alone, I know they got a lot of other question marks, but a lot of times in the NFL, as long as you have a good quarterback, you should be okay. But realistically, Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
J-Rob, NFC East champion.
Yeah, I think ultimately it's hard to pick any team but the Eagles coming out of this division. I think when you look at it, it is arguable that Howie Roseman is the best GM in the game right now. His ability to put a roster together, ultimately, before winning the Super Bowl, they went to the playoffs, lost to the Buccaneers, but despite that, still one of the better teams in the NFL. Even with the flaws, it shows that not only have they been able to really lose free agents, bring guys in, I think they're developing young talent at a high level. I think that doesn't get enough credit. The offensive line is going to be good. I know, you lost some pieces on defense and veteran pieces, but I mean, you got 2 second-year players who could have been in potentially some defensive rookie of the year conversations, both guys. And I think the amount of experience they gain going into their second year is great. And I think the other part people forget is when you have young players, you have really light contracts. This is momentum that they're able to capitalize on. And so when I look at Jalen Hurts, I love the fact that they don't let any of the outside noise deal with that locker room. All they know is to prepare to win. And so it's hard for me to pick anybody but the Eagles coming out of that division. Now, if I wanted to be a contrarian, the other pick would be the Commanders. I feel like I know there's the talks about sophomore slumps and things like that for a guy like Jaden Daniels. However, I mean, I think he's as good as it gets. And so I think I like the acquisitions they brought in. I love that they brought in Deebo. I know there's a lot of, everybody is all of a sudden a nutritionist and cares about his body weight, but his game ultimately is built around his ability to run after the catch. And so you want a guy like that, bulkier, because he's going to get tackled a lot. However, as great as the Commanders, I think they will be, I got them finishing second in the divisions. I can't go any route but the Eagles right now, just because I think they're still, from a roster standpoint, as good as any roster in football, and they're as good as any team in football.
So let me ask y'all, y'all both mentioned Deebo Samuels, right, as a reason why the Commanders are going to be, the second place team and contenders in this division as well. Deebo Samuels is washed up. He's washed up. And that's not just about his body weight. Look at how he runs the football. There's no separation no more. He's not a yards after the catch guy no more. They better not put him in that backfield. Deebo Samuel is washed up. He does not make the Commanders better.
I'll say this. He's had an injury history. So if that also goes into why you think he's washed, I'm okay to concede that. However, in this offense, I think it is more suited for Deebo. I think in the way you saw guys like Austin Eckler being utilized, I feel like Deebo Samuel's a little bit more dynamic. And so when I look at the offense and the team, especially, listen, I know everybody had a lot to say about him as an OC or as a head coach for the Arizona Cardinals, but my boy Cliff Kingsbury, he's been calling some great football under the Washington Commanders. And I think with a weapon like Deebo, I think he still has some good football left ahead of him. Now, granted, his health will considerably be a concern, but I do feel like within that Commanders offense, I think he'll be fine, because is Deebo's production based off getting 1,000 receiving yards? I don't think so. So if he's able to put up 900 all-purpose for the season, I think I got the production I need out of him. If he gives me 950 yards of all-purpose and I can get 5 touchdowns out of him, I think he's servicing his job.
And also, Corey, don't Deebo's not going into a receiver 1 situation. They looking at him to either be receiver 2, even 3. He's not really going into a situation where they're going to demand a lot from him. So usually with a digressing receiver, once they go to a lesser role, you still get maximum production about what you're asking them for. I don't think Deebo forgot.
Over under 10.5 games played for Deebo Samuels.
Well, I mean, just Deebo's injuries are, like, a lot of them have been lower body.
Right.
So, I mean, it just depends. Like, that's such those are such, like, random injuries. Like, you just don't know in terms of, like, some of these are non-contact. Because, I mean, obviously, as J-Rob Bama Trey knows, like, if you break wrong, depending on the heat, like, you can have, like, you can pull something, so just to Deebo's credit, I mean, if you look at his games played, like, he had 15 games played in 19, he had 7 in 20, but since then, 16 games played in 21, 13 games played in 22, 15 games played in 23, and 15 games played in 24.
Well, now, if you want to across the board lows in 24, everything was career lows last year.
I think a lot of that, though, for me, as somebody who did watch basically every San Francisco game last year, I do think he struggled. There were some really bad drops that he had last year, especially on third down. And in a year Brock Purdy needed more. I think that he really didn't facilitate his role like he should have, and I think to the point, Deebo hasn't had a season like he had in 2021, but that 1 year, when he just was a top 4 receiver in the sport and all pro and all that. So I do think, though, a lot of this comes with Deebo is, like, I think the existence of another playmaker that defenses have to respect is probably a bigger add to the Commanders' offense than just the raw numbers. And I think that when you have Terry McLaurin and Noah Brown and Zach Ertz and I think a really good running back room, relative, like not like amazing. When you have that many weapons and then you have a rookie quarterback, I mean, honestly, I think that's just a big deal. It's like just having other options for the rookie, the second-year quarterback that they can utilize and find ways to get the ball off on third down. And if you watch these games with the Commanders last year, a lot of these were late game comeback wins they were getting, and then Terry McLaurin was making just like some absolutely insane plays. But having another player that you can trust in money situations, like think about the red zone opportunities with Deebo Samuels, either, just running fly sweeps with him, running reverses with him. Just anything, even if you just want to run some now screens. Yeah, I think Terry, as good as he is, J-Rob, I don't think Terry does that stuff the same way that Deebo does. And so having an option to do that, even if you just want to just do a now then a shoot route, like with that with Noah Brown, like Deebo's gravity, at least as a wide receiver and as a weapon, I think is going to make a big deal for that offense.
Yeah, I think I didn't mean to cut anybody off there about to go next. I just wanted to add to Swiber's point, fellas. I think it's always good to have a nice counter in your offensive arsenal. I think if you're not looking at Deebo from do we really think he's the primary option? You have Terry McLaurin about to make a lot of money actually out there on the perimeter. Not really. I think when you look at a guy like Deebo, like he's just in a lot of plays, in a lot of schemes, he'll probably be a decoy in a lot of plays. Because he's just a guy on a defense where you got, where's Deebo at? Because he is your gadget player. And so I think he's just a phenomenal counterpunch. And again, you can line him up in the backfield, and he's a legitimate threat there as well. So I just wanted to add that point.
Trey, let me get your NFC East champion and your thoughts on Deebo Samuel this season.
I'm going with the Washington Commanders. I'm not going to lie.
Trey, audio.
Trey, audio.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
You gotta put the microphone directly in there.
Wait, I got it. Can you hear me now?
All right, we hear you now. Yeah,
we can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So, I'm going with the Washington Commanders. I think they got a solid team. I think they came into the offseason and got better. So I think that they have a great chance to go out there and beat the Eagles, the defending champions. So that's what I'm rolling with. I definitely think signing Terry McLaurin, that's a huge factor, though. If they don't sign Terry McLaurin back, that does change things. But I'm believing in the Jaden Daniels hype. I think he's definitely the best rookie quarterback we've ever seen. And I feel like he's capable of doing some things that we've never seen before. I know some people think that he might have a CJ Stroud sophomore season. They don't believe the hype, but I think that Jaden Daniels has done things that other quarterbacks have never done, and that he could definitely take that Commanders team to the championship and definitely win the NFC.
Look, I want to add to this too. One of the biggest steals of this summer was them getting Laramie Tunsil. And for the life of me, I have no idea why the Texans, with the worst offensive line of any playoff team honestly, maybe in the NFL beyond just the AFC, they gave up Laramie Tunsil. And I think Laramie is going to be such a huge addition to this roster, and especially for Jaden and Brian Robinson and for Austin Eckler. So again, you add Laramie Tunsil, you add Deebo Samuel. That just makes them, I think, a different kind of team, because when you can run the ball with confidence and don't sleep, this offensive line, there's a real pathway for this being like one of the upper tier NFC offensive lines now with this kind of addition. And I think when you have these kind of players on the roster with Jaden, who's very good, I think, processing across the field, very good mobile, very good scrambling. Another thing, now having Terry and Deebo, y'all, they got two other players that once the initial play breaks down and you're kind of in scramble mode now, and you got to just find a place to get on the defense versus the zone. I think both of them are going to be really good at that. And so even if it's not going to be like necessarily like just outright Deebo Samuel is going to have 950 receiving yards this year, what he will have, I think, is another option that if you need a play to be made and you need another option to go to because Terry's being double coverage high, like, over the top, then I think Deebo is going to be good working underneath those routes to kind of be able to take advantages of some of the gaps that Terry's creating with the over the top balls and all that stuff. So just all the way around, and then on top of that, you had Zach Ertz as well. So I would honestly say that, like, among all the young quarterbacks, I mean, this just might be the best overall situation with a mix of Jaden's talent, but also the adding to the offensive line and to the receiving core. Now their defense, that's another story. That defense needs to obviously improve and get a lot better. But I think the offense is they're off to a good start.
Yeah.
So the Washington Commanders' first 4 games of the season, they're home against the New York Giants. Then they travel to Green Bay for a Thursday night game versus the Packers. That's going to be a critical game. Then they're home for the Raiders. Then they go down to the A at the Atlanta Falcons. Bama, what is the Washington Commanders' record after the first 4 games of the season? Giants at Packers, home for Raiders at Atlanta.
You looking at 3-1, 4-0 maybe. But you know the NFL, these could be 2-2. No, you never know. That's the one thing about the NFL. When you think games are a given, they're not a given, bro. Like, it is so irritating, bro. Like that's why I was saying. I think the Raiders, people talk. I think they could steal one, man. I'm so high on Ashton Genty, bro. And Geno is not as bad as people think. But I'll probably say realistically, if JD is who we think he is, 3-1, 4-0. At Atlanta scares me. At Atlanta scares me. I'm not gonna lie. At Atlanta scares me now. So I'm gonna probably go 3-1, 4-0. But if he 4-0, JD is really that dude.
Same question, J-Rob. The Commanders' record after the first 4 games.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think they'll have if they have any given Sunday game in that 4-game stretch, they could go 2-2. Because I very much, I think we all believe in any given Sunday because we've just seen it so many times. If he's the top 5, top 6 quarterback that people have ranked him as, I think best bet they could be 4-0. For me, I'm gonna go 3-1 because they got to go down to Atlanta, and I think playing 3 hard-fought games. I don't think the Raiders are going to be a slouch, and I don't think that game against the Packers is going to be a cakewalk either. So if you get past those 2 games, I think they're going to get through the Giants. You get past those 2 back-to-back, having to go down to Atlanta, who I think is going to be an improved football team this year. I'm going to go 3-1. But if they go 4-0, I would not be surprised. It wouldn't surprise me.
Trey, what you got?
Man, personally, I got them going 4-0. I definitely believe in every given Sunday, things can come down to what they come down to. But looking at these games, I definitely see the Commanders coming out with each and every one of these. I think the going to the Falcons, that would be tough for sure. That's going to be a hard game. But I see them pulling it through. So that's just my opinion on that.
Swipe.
I mean, I don't even know if they get out of week 1 with a for sure win. I mean, I feel like I feel like
very well.
Yeah, I feel like we're not necessarily us, but I feel like the public is just a little bit they're not aware that the Giants are Russell Wilson is not an incompetent QB. I'm not saying he's an upper tier QB. They have a veteran quarterback. Tyrone Tracy was good last year, y'all. I don't know what to tell you. Like, he was a good 5th round pickup they had last year. They got Scatterbo, so they have 2 good running backs.
Right.
They're going to be able to run the ball. Andrew Thomas is going to be available. He'll be healthy. Like, their offensive line should be more improved. And then on top of that, y'all, I don't know if people know this, like Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns, and they got the best pass rusher in the draft this last year.
Oh my goodness.
Like, I'm sorry, y'all. Like, I don't want to just say like they're just gonna walk by the New York Giants. Being a look, man, they're not a good team. I'm not saying the Giants are good, but just saying that they're just gonna walk in. And again, it's in Washington. That will help them. But that pass rush is going to be ferocious. And if that offensive line doesn't hold up on the opposite side of Laramie Tunzel, it's going to be a long night for Jaden. And if you remember, a lot of the reasons why Jaden got that Rookie of the Year last year and got some of the numbers he was, but because they were down a lot of these games. Not a lot, but a few of these games. Made some miracle comebacks. Hail Mary throws versus Chicago Bears. Late wins versus the Dallas Cowboys. So we've seen it. But there is a real situation, y'all, where they're going into week 1. Russell Wilson, 2 TDs in the first half. All of a sudden, Malik Neighbors is looking unguardable. Tyrone Tracy's running. Scatterbo's running. The defense looks good. They can't get off the field. And then on 3rd down, it's 3rd and 7, and they're like, all right, cool. Hey, Bama, 5-man rush. What you got? You know what I mean? So, like I'm saying, like the Giants, I think I'll give them. I think 3-1 is where I would be comfortable, but I might say 2-2, just because early season, Corey.
Yes.
A lot of football is just about figuring out who you are.
Yeah.
And I think figuring out that physicality is a real big deal. But I think the first couple of weeks, they're going to be a great opportunity, I think, for the team and the Commanders to figure out what they're doing. But Green Bay, they're not soft up front. They have some good players up front. The Giants have some good players up front. The Las Vegas Raiders, they got weapons. You know what I mean? They have players that they can give the ball around to. And on top of that, Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly, they're going to have a lot of answers for that team in Game 3 and Week 3. So, I mean, I think it's going to be – these games will be closer than we expect. But I'll say I would lean 3-1-2-2.
I like the Eagles to win the division. I think the Commanders come out of that first 4 games of the season with a 2-2 record, and that'll make the wild card situation very interesting. Let's go to the NFC West. And this is a division that last year was won by the Los Angeles Rams. But this is a division for basically the better part of the last decade. Trey has been dominated by the San Francisco 49ers, making Super Bowl appearances. Christian McCaffrey, Kyle Shanahan. It don't really matter who the quarterback is. They figure out a way to get it done. But here is what I am here to tell you. The San Francisco 49ers will not make the playoffs this year. They have an aging roster. Their quarterback is mid, even though he's been coached up well. The players are not as good as you think. Christian McCaffrey, he's seen his best days. The San Francisco 49ers will not win this division. The San Francisco 49ers will not be in the playoffs this year. Trey, what do you think about the NFC West?
Man, NFC West is going to be a little bit hard for me as a Seattle Seahawks fan, but I'm definitely going to have to give it to the Rams. I feel like them picking up Devontae Adams, I feel like that's going to be huge. I think Matthew Stafford, I think that's going to go well. Kyron Williams, I'm a big fan of him. And they have a strong defense. So I'm definitely going to have to go with the Rams coming out of the NFC West. But also, I think the 49ers still do have a chance. I still think Seattle has a chance to come through. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the Rams for sure, man. They got a great team. I think Devontae Adams and Matthew Stafford are gonna do some great things together. I think Matthew Stafford likes throwing to Devontae, that type of receiver. So I think they're gonna be a great duo. And yeah, man, that's all I got.
What do you say, Bama? NFC West.
I don't know. I feel like the Seahawks. I feel like the Seahawks had a chance. They got Cooper Kupp and they got Sam Darnold, but I don't see Sam Darnold being that good of an addition of a quarterback for Seattle, and I don't think he's taking them to win the NFC West. Personally, that's how I feel. So, yeah, I'm going with the 49ers. I'm going with the Rams, Robbie. I'm going with the Rams.
I like the Rams picks for obvious reasons. The addition of Tay and Jared Verse looked like he might be the Rams' next dominant defensive lineman. Working with Aaron Donald in the offseason. You remember he was wreaking havoc against the Eagles. The Eagles really didn't come up out that Rams matchup in the playoffs. Just like, all willy-nilly, like we just ran through them. Like, granted, it was in the snow, but that defense was real solid. But the one team I'm probably going to say that has to come up out of this division this year, the Cardinals. Kyler Murray, he damn near on the hot seat. He's been in top 10 talks throughout his career, athleticism talks, D-Hop, they got a Marv. I think right now he has to make some sort of splash. You could say all the holes in the team and all of that stuff. I don't want to hear it. At this point in his career, what is this, like year 9, year 8? He better do something.
Good question.
Yeah, he is on the point. I'm not saying I'm taking this team because I like this team. But I'm just saying, people got them ranked number 4. I don't think he can afford being the fourth best team in this division again.
I want to say year 6, Bama.
Yeah. So
yeah, he got drafted at 19. So
okay. So year 6, coming up on year 6, I think Kyler has to. Kyler got to do.
Don't forget year 6 and an extension.
Yeah. So, I mean, you had all the talks first. Your Call of Duty head, all of that. Now you got to show us where you could take this team to the playoffs. Because really, what has the Cardinals done since he got there? You see what I'm saying? This is the thing you got to think. Matt Stafford was so-called dying over there in Detroit. He gets to the Rams. Some competent type of team takes him to the Super Bowl. Seahawks had their moments. Niners, we already know what the Niners did. Now we're really looking at the Cardinals. Out of all the quarterbacks right now, Matt Stafford, Sam Darnold, Then you got your boy over there, Brock Purdy. I don't know. I just think, man, Murray really got to take that next step, or they might just be looking for another quarterback. Because, like I said, Arch finna be on the market soon, bro. Like, and that's what a lot of these dudes got to think about. So I don't think that Kyler Murray can afford to just have another lackluster season or average season or excuse-driven season. So I'm just gonna go with them by default because I think Kyler got to do something this year.
J-Rob, NFC West.
Honestly, I really couldn't believe you said that, Bama, because I thought I was going to be the only person who's also going to say, I was going to say the same thing. I felt like it has to be the Cardinals, and a little bit is out of desperation.
Mm-hmm.
I think when I look at the overall NFC West, for me, I think the easy pick is the Rams. You saw them with an obliterated roster last season go out there and have some late season heroics. They got healthy on the back end and they won the division. But I think if there's any team who has like huge expectations, and I think where a lot of guys are on a hot seat to deliver, I do look at the Cardinals as a team that does need to show some level of elevation. I want to believe in Kyler Murray because I do think he's a good quarterback. I think he has some good tools, good skills, good playmaking. I think he's one good season away from, I guess, quote unquote, arriving. And so kind of with the same reasoning as Bama, I thought I'd be the only one who kind of was thinking this way. I'm just going to kind of pick the Cardinals because I feel like they have to. Like it is about time we see the number one pick in the draft and this team get to some of the heights that they reached back in the past. And so I think for Kyler Murray, I think it's a big test for him in that squad this year. So I'm gonna go against the grain a little bit and pick the Cardinals despite.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right, what we got, Swipe?
It's probably going to be the Rams that win the division, but I'm actually not as low on the 49ers. I think that if Michael Williams pans out, Nick Bosa, healthy season, Fred Warner, healthy season, Lenore, I think, healthy season. I think they can have an improved defense last year. Now, Brandon Ayuk, depending on how he comes back, if he's still really struggling to come back from that ACL, Ricky Purcell and Juwan Jennings, that's going to be like a lot to ask for them to be able to carry the offense with Brock Purdy. But look, I'm a George Kittle, like true George Kittle believer. Like I think he is the best tight end in football. But again, y'all, if their offense, if Christian McCaffrey's healthy, like literally this decision for me, Corey, is really about the Rams are a really good football team. I think Matthew Stafford is a good quarterback. I'm not quite as high on him as everybody else is. Like I think kind of around the NFL, he's a very talented quarterback. But if Christian McCaffrey's healthy, Corey, for me, I think that's really the glue. He might be the most important offensive player in the NFL. And a lot of that is just because the kind of offense that they run, they need him to be able to take advantage of the zone blocking, to have the behind the backfield, the stuff that they do with him out of there, like with those arrow routes. I think he helps Brock Purdy to be able to process what's happening on the field. And if you have him and Ayuk and Kittle and Jennings and Ricky Pearsall, I think all of them will really aid this team. And Trent Williams is still the best left tackle in the NFL.
Yeah, he's also been playing for about 18 years now. That's the problem.
He was still really good last year, though.
But here's the thing. How long is Trent Williams is the best player on the San Francisco 49ers. As Trent Williams go, the 49ers go. If Trent Williams, who has got to be my age, is not healthy, the team is going to fall apart. The offense is going to fall apart. That's just the truth of the matter, in my opinion. It's all about the availability of Trent Williams, and we're relying on a guy that's a walking Hall of Famer. He's going from the football field right into Canton. There's no doubt about it. Might be the best offensive lineman to ever play the game. But how long can we continue to say that the Niners' best player is a 39-year-old left tackle?
Well, he's
that's
37.
That's not true, Corey. He's not their best player.
And Christian McCaffrey is clearly
on that football team. George
yeah.
Kittle's on that football team.
It's Trent Williams.
2 years ago, Christian McCaffrey was the offensive player of the year on that team. So Trent Williams hasn't been the best player on that team for a few years. I think that's a little disingenuous. He's a top-level left tackle, 100%.
He's top 3 for sure, though.
The offense struggles.
No, but I think it isn't
But
that any offensive line
team without
roster,
a decent offensive lineman is going to struggle.
Yeah, I mean, if think about Trent Williams, just very similar to, I mean, even just with the Eagles, they do so much of their offense, and what they do is based on Trent Williams' ability to be able to create run block advantages and to be an isolation left tackle. Like, you can literally throw him out on whoever is on the left end, and then even if it's Myles Garrett, just go one-on-one, and he'll win a majority of those possessions. Like, yeah, that makes a big deal, and I think that aids Brock Purdy. But I think now, again, this all comes down to health of the 49ers. This is why I think a lot of us are picking the Rams in the first place. I think the Rams, up and down the roster, they have the best team, and we expect them to be the healthiest. I think Puka Nacua has an opportunity to be a first-team-ish all-pro kind of player. Depends, like Justin Jefferson, obviously, and Jamar Chase, but Puka's probably right there in the second team. I think he's really good. He's going to get a lot of opportunities this season as well. Their running back room is going to be really strong. Their defense is going to be strong with Jared Verse. Like, they're a really good team. Byron Young's on the roster. Like, so I think that the Rams deserve to be known to be, I think, go into the season as the favorite to win the division. But if you ask me, Christian McCaffrey plays 15 games next year, I wouldn't be surprised if it's them two fighting for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I agree.
Arizona Cardinals, first 4 games of the season for the Arizona Cardinals, J-Rob. The Saints, at the Saints. They go down to the Dome at the Saints. Week 2 versus the Carolina Panthers. This is Arizona I'm talking about. Week 3, divisional matchup at San Francisco. Week 4, divisional matchup. They bring Seattle into their building for Thursday Night Football. Saints, Panthers, 49ers, Seahawks. What's the Cardinals' record after the first 4 weeks of the season?
2-2.
Trey?
Man, I got them going. Yeah, I got them going 2-2 as well, losing to Seattle and San Francisco. I got them beating New Orleans and Carolina.
Bama.
I got them beating New Orleans, losing to Carolina. That's part of my Bama bias, but I don't know. I like the additions. I ain't gonna talk about them too much, but I like the addition of my boy Horn, Jimmy Horn, and Tet. But I think they can beat the Niners just because it's a division matchup. We always, even back in the days when the Niners was like the truth with Colin Kaepernick, they'll still lose to the Rams and Cardinals for some weird reason. So I just think just off of that, just being a division rival, they might be able to beat them. I say 2-2. I say 1-3 or 2. And I know I just said they got to make it up out of there. I'll say 2-2 just to stick with my first take. I'm gonna say 2-2.
What you got, Swipe?
Yeah, I think 2-2 sounds comfortable, but how much do we believe in the late season run from Bryce Young and Adam Thielen, and now having Tet on the roster, Chuba Hubbard, one of the best running backs that we had in the league last year. The defense will be way better this season, so I wouldn't be shocked if it's 1-3. I think the Seahawks and 49ers are better than them. Wouldn't be shocked. Yeah. But I'm gonna say they will win that game, and then they'll be 2-2 after the first 4 weeks. But hey, Panthers are also they're better than people give them credit for.
Yeah,
right,
I agree.
I got them at 1-3 coming out the first 4 weeks of the season, but I do think that they can rebound a little bit and come up a little bit stronger moving down the rest of the season, because the NFC West has the very weak schedule this year. So NFC West teams are going to be able to put up good numbers, but there's going to be some tie-break advantages that could come their way. And talk about some of those, because that could be a very important game in week 2 when they play Carolina. Let's go to the NFC.
Hold on 1 second real quick before we transition. We got a $20 super chat from one of the nastiest L hosts of them all, Ron the Don. Appreciate you for the $20, my brother. Bomb-ass wieners and Brock Purdy are washed. Skylar McFlurry ain't on the damn thing. I'm not concerned about the hams. This is clearly the Seahawks division. Top 5 defense, trades, stand on business. Bama, asswipe, Dion, shut the hell up.
Go ahead, Trey. Stand on business.
Man, that's right. Hey, that's right. Go Seahawks. Go Seahawks.
Tyler McFlurry is crazy.
Yeah, boy, got counterfeit money. That check went to bounce.
Let's go to
Can't pay with Monopoly money, Ron.
let's go to the NFC South, and I'm gonna set it off in the NFC South. Division last year won by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Right now, the Buccaneers are minus 105 to win the division. Let me give you a little bit of betting advice if you want to bet on the futures market. Never bet on a division winner at minus money. You never know what's going to happen throughout the course of the season. That number could be plus 215 by the time you get to week 5. So don't bet a minus money number on a division champion or really on any future, because ain't no team that good unless, you know, like the South Carolina women's Gamecocks basketball team. All right, NFC South. I'm going to set it off right here. Tampa won the joint last year. This year's division winner will be the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young has comeback player of the year ability this year. Their defensive line, their team in the trenches is probably one of the best team in the trenches that we've seen in a while. Now, the ownership group is terrible, but last year you saw them kind of get out the way. My man Bryce Young got his footing under him. They play in a weak division. The Carolina Panthers will be the 2025 NFC South champions. I got the Carolina Panthers. Who wants to step in and take the next shot right here? I see you nodding your head, Bama. Are you rocking with me on the Carolina Panthers winning the South?
I'm rocking with you on the Carolina Panthers, man. I know you ain't been on here, but listen here. When I say I'm the ultimate Bama fan, the ultimate Bama fan, this is not the only Alabama player jersey I got in my closet. Like it goes real deep. You know what I mean? I gotta go with Bryce just because, like you said, comeback player of the year ability. That what he showed in the back half of the season was his resilience to overcome the front half of the season. He was real bad, looking like a bust the first 2 seasons, but that back half had a hell of a game versus the Chiefs as well. To play against a team of that magnitude, show the guts he had, they was one drop away from beating them dudes. Xavier Legette don't drop that pass versus the Eagles. I think they beat them. You know, so it's just like, I got a lot of stock in Bryce Young for real. I'm not mad. Part of it too, I'll probably say as well. Atlanta scares me. That's the only other team that really scare me. Is what I'm thinking on the back end. I'll probably say Atlanta. But I'm with you, Corey. Like I'm taking a lot of stock in what I seen from Jimmy Horn over the summer. I know everybody's like, oh, it's OTAs, it's camp, but it's like, bro, that's the first time we see these dudes in the NFL. You know, Swiper, you and play, but Trey, you playing right now. What your coach always tell you in practice, you up under a microscope, right? Yeah, so that's the first time we see him up under a microscope, and he looks very good. He looks like he's gonna be a good asset, good slot receiver. We got Ted McMillan. We ain't got no old. See, to go from Adam Thielen being your receiver one, a declining 30-plus-year-old receiver to Tek McMillan and Jimmy, man, he was declining.
That's not how I felt the last back of the season.
I know back half of the season, but it's like you gotta throw the ball to somebody. Swiper.
Boy, looked like he hit that, got his powers back in Space Jam last year, man. That boy was.
You gotta throw the ball to somebody though. You gotta throw the ball. I'm not disrespecting Adam Thielen. I like Adam Thielen, but he shouldn't have been nobody receiver one. You feel me? That you was setting Bryce up the field. We got Ted, Jimmy, and Thielen. So now he's just not the only focal point. So I'm really ready to see what Bryce do with that. Chuba Hubbard looked good. That defense, you know, J.C. Horn, I like him a lot. Buying a lot of stock in him for a good DB. I really like the Panthers a lot, man.
Trey, you buying the Bryce Young hype, and who you like to win the NFC South?
I'm buying into the Bryce Young hype as to seeing improvement, but I think we're stretching it a little bit here, man. Honestly, I mean, this is still a 5-12 team in 2024. We're talking about. This is still, you know, I mean, Bryce Young, he did show flashes of being a great quarterback in that last half of the season, but in that last half of the season, after he got benched and came back, it's a lot less pressure on him. So I feel like that made it easier for him to perform. I feel like we're really shining off the Buccaneers. Like Buccaneers had a great season. They didn't have a great season, but they went 10-7, which is a lot better than 5-12. And they also re-signed Chris Godwin, and they picked up Hassan Reddick and Baker Mayfield. I mean, that's an NFL top 10 rated quarterback voted. So I mean, I feel like we're trying to shot him off of winning the division, and I still got the Buccaneers taking it out. And I also think that the Falcons have a great chance of being number 2. I think the Panthers should be worried about, honestly, just trying to make it into the top 2 before we start getting into conversations about them winning the division. I mean, I think they definitely had some great pickups with Tet and all of them. But I mean, at the end of the day, it still comes down to coordinating on and things like that. And I just feel like I don't know if Bryce has the right coaches. I don't know if they're putting him in the right position to succeed and overall as a team. So that's how I feel about it. And I'm going with the Buccaneers to win the NFC South.
J. Rob, what you got in the NFC South, my man?
Look, I love y'all. Bam, you know I love you to death. But I think you just getting caught up with the new girl in school. I think the new girl came to school. She moved in from Carolina. She looks pretty and all of that. But she only been in school for 2 months. You don't really know her. You don't know her that well.
Oh, I probably
and you got to get to know that personality still. Now, she's shown some flashes. She picked your pencil up off the ground. She let you use her notes. But I don't know if that's enough, brother. I still, again, I think you got to remember this is still, like Trey says, a 4-12 football team. Like, this is still, she still could be a catfish, brother. You just don't know. And so I love a lot of the intangible things, but I'd be okay. I'd be okay if they won 7-8 games next year and lost a few close ones, because that'll show me some levels of improvement. I don't need them to go to the playoffs this year to feel like they'll be a better football team. But I am going to say this. Though. Something in me is, I want to say the Buccaneers, but something in me is telling me to go with the Atlanta Falcons. There's just something in my core telling me to bet on the Atlanta Falcons this year. I like a lot of the pieces they have overall. I mean, Bama, you know this. I've been high on Michael Penix Jr. for a while. I mean, I think I was on a soapbox screaming that Penix should be a top 10 pick in the draft that he came out in. And I used to get crucified for it. He still ended up going top 10. And they have a lot of offensive talent. I mean, they really do. And with what I think Michael Penix's ability to spin the football, like when it comes to just spinning it flat out, I'm into it. I'm buying some stock in. In Michael Penix. I think the safe pick is the Buccaneers, but I think Atlanta is going to surge. I'm going to go out on a limb. Unc, where they at right now? Uncle Corey, where they at in the odds?
In the odds, the Atlanta Falcons are second to win the division at plus 200.
I think I like that plus 200 right now.
All right, Swipe, get in here. Let me hear your NFC South thoughts. Give me your champion, and then after that, I'm gonna give you the Atlanta Falcons' first 4 games.
Well, the wrap up the Bryce Young last 8 games, 1,700 yards, 12 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 92 passes already. Corey, if we said that Bryce did that, after his rookie year, I think we all would have said like that'd have been a great season relative because of what we saw. So you know what I mean. I think that was a great bounce back from him. Let's see if he can keep it up. They got the offensive coordinator from the Buccaneers, mind you, that helped Baker Mayfield become an MVP candidate last year. So I think that's important. I am taking the Buccaneers though. I think the Bucs are clearly the best team. Their receiving core, once they get Chris Godwin back, it's going to be a nightmare. I think Igbuka is a really, really, really good slot receiver in college. And I think he can have a real impact on this team. Cade Otton, I think, is a good tight end. They got, I think, the best left tackle in the NFC, maybe, depending on how we talk, Bill, like Mailata and all them, but he's really good nonetheless. I think, obviously, coming back from injury, they're going to be really good, man. Baker Mayfield, like, you want to talk about career resurgence. And guess where he got his resurgence? The Panthers. And I think that this is going to be another really good year from Baker's been a very confident quarterback, a very deliberate quarterback. The offense is going to be really good. Bucky Irving and Rashad White are 2 good running backs that are going to help this team out a lot. Vita Vea, they got Levante Davis still. They got Hassan Reddick still. They still have a really good team. Winfield Jr., I like Jamil Dean as well. They have a good roster. They have a good team. And I think that their experience, the quarterback play, I would say the Falcons have a chance, though. Look, like, if you just are reading on the roster, Michael Penix, Bijan Robinson, and I think, like, Drake London, if you look at what he did, like, really with Michael Penix, he could be a wide receiver 1 in fantasy football. We'll talk about him, obviously, a little bit later. Drake London's really good. Darnell Mooney had a great season last year with the Falcons, and then on top of that, Kyle Pitts, I think
is a overstatement. But go ahead.
No, I think for what he was and where he left how he left the Chicago Bears, I think he was a dynamic player for them. Again, it's not all about the raw numbers, but I think again what he opened up for everybody else on the field last year, and I think how he helped Michael Penix. I think he's a good player. Obviously, Jake Matthews, Chris Lindstrom. The defense still got questions. Obviously, Leonard Floyd and all that. They don't have a lot of pass rush. AJ Terrell, is he going to have a bounce back season this year? He had an all-pro season, I think, year 2. We haven't had that same level of play from him since then. I think it's a good team. But if you ask me for my money, Corey, I'm definitely taking the Buccaneers, I think, to win the division going into the season. I
think the Atlanta Falcons are a beige spot on a beige wall. I see what everybody is saying about some of the talent on the team, but it seems like they never put it together. Our Atlanta Falcons' first 4 games, Bama, the Buccaneers, then they go on the road for 2. The Vikings, the Panthers, then they come home for the Commanders. I got them going 1-3.
Give me the first 4 again, Aunt.
First 4 games, the Buccaneers, at the Vikings, at the Panthers, and then home for the Commanders. So that's home game versus the Bucs and the Commanders, and then on the road for at Minnesota. Then they go at Minnesota, at Carolina. I got them 1-3, and to be honest with you, it could be 0-4.
Yeah, especially depending on how J.J. McCarthy come back after his injury, because the weapons are there, boy, for him. Weapons is right there for him in his face.
I think it's more safe for me to put them at 2-2. JJ McCarthy still got to play football. I don't know. You haven't even seen a glimpse. I think I don't care how many t-shirt and shorts videos you see on Twitter. He needs to play football in a real game. And look, Swiper, Bama, Trey, we've all played some level of football. So we also know what a script looks like in practice. Okay. You have a script. Listen, I've worked out as a 1, I've worked out as a 2, and I've heard coaches tell me in practice, lay off the receiver, lay off the quarterback. So let's just see him play a little football first. There's still I think he has a lot of tools, but we haven't seen anything left. And then I think for the Panthers game, again, still the new girl in school. So I don't think it should be a flat out God-given conclusion that those 2 games are going to be wins for those 2 football teams. I think there's still a lot to be seen.
Even though
I would also argue offensively, I could also argue offensively that the Falcons have just as good of an offensive core as both teams. Now, obviously, Justin Jefferson is the best weapon of those offensive cores, but Atlanta has something to say for sure.
Even though we ain't seen him play, how far off do you think he can be from Sam Darnold, though, J-Rob?
Let's.
Sam Darnold had a damn near MVP level season last year.
I want to wrap up the South first because I think it's going to get real heated in the next segment. Because I'm going to say something that's probably going to blow the doors off. But let me get Atlanta Falcons record in the first 4.
I ain't gonna lie.
I'll go 2-2.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, bro. 1-3, 0-4 don't really look too crazy, too far-fetched. I'm not gonna lie. I hate to say it. And after saying what I said, I gotta walk it back. I'll probably say 1-3, 0-4, bro. That's a gauntlet.
Sunday night football. Damn, a Sunday night football game in Minnesota. I'll go 1-3 to be safe too. I'm gonna go 1-3 to be safe.
Trey?
Yeah, I'm going 1-3 as well. I think the going honestly might be 0-4 going to Carolina. That's gonna be a tough game too for the Falcons. But I'll go 1-3 for sure.
All right, let's get to the NFC North. This is the division I think is the best division in football. I think this team can carry 3 teams to the playoffs. The division was won by the Detroit Lions last year. The Minnesota Vikings were a playoff team last year. The Green Bay Packers were a playoff team last year. And then you had the Chicago Bears, who a lot of people have high hopes on coming into this season. I will say that the division winner will be the Minnesota Vikings this year. I think J.J. McCarthy is the real deal. And when I say J.J. McCarthy is the real deal, it's because I'm looking at McCarthy's skill set, yes, but I am looking at the man who is coaching J.J. McCarthy. Mm-hmm. Kevin O'Connell is the best coacher of the quarterback in the NFL. Nobody coaches the quarterback position better than Kevin O'Connell. You saw what he did with Sam Darnold last year. Then, Darnold turned into a pumpkin late in the season. You saw what he did with Kirk Cousins' career. Justin Jefferson has already said his numbers, his stats are quarterback proof. You got Aaron Jones in there to run the football for them. Solid organizationally under Kevin O'Connell. So you bring in a young quarterback, a fresh slate. The team already loves him. He may have got some burn last year coming down the stretch. J.J. McCarthy is going to carry the Minnesota Vikings to a division championship, Swiper.
I would love to have an argument between Kevin O'Connell and Sean Payton in terms of developing quarterbacks at a later date, but I think Kevin O'Connell is obviously really good. Look, there's a chance, man. I think I really Detroit fans, I really want to say it's the Detroit Lions. But they lost both their coordinators, y'all. Like that's a big deal. Is Hutchinson coming back this year healthy and the same level of player? That's going to be a big deal. That's going to be a big part of the conversation about the Lions. Look, some of this is as simple as this, y'all. Like, can the Vikings find a way to mitigate mistakes, which I think is, to Corey's point, the specialty of Coach McConnell. Like, is he going to be able to mitigate J.J. McCarthy making mistakes as a passer? Aaron Jones is going to be there. Jordan Jefferson is going to be there. Jordan Addison's there, who is a really good emerging number 2 option in the league. They got Naylor, TJ Hawkinson. The offensive line is going to be there. The defense is also really good. They had another player in Andrew Van Ginkel that I think a lot of people, if you don't watch football around the league, you don't know who that is. He is a very good player. They have a really good defense. But I think it's between them and the Lions. And if you had to ask you for my money right now, Corey, going into the season, knowing the changes at the OC and DC for the Lions, I'm comfortable saying it's going to be the Minnesota Vikings. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they end up splitting 1-1 and they end up with a very similar record ending the season off. And it's really just more about divisional kind of matchups and how they fared out there. But I don't know, man. Like, I think it's a toss-up between both of those two. Because now you're trusting one team that has a rookie quarterback but is still a very strong infrastructure, and another team I think still has a good infrastructure coming off injuries, no OC, no DC. I think it's going to be interesting, but I think I can go with the Vikings here just by hair.
What you got, J-Rob?
I mean, this division is really hard to pick. This one is just like, I'm just kind of rolling some dice out here. Now, I'm not at the point to say that J.J. McCarthy is going to carry the Vikings to the division title. Again, we haven't seen him play football. Even when he was coming out of college, I'll admit, when he was coming out of school, I wasn't low on him. I seen the talent, but I thought there were some concerns to me with just like what he was asked to do at Michigan versus when you have to translate some of those things to the NFL. I mean,
J-Rob, you know who probably finna win this division. Don't play right now. You know,
Packers?
Hey, no. I hate to say it.
The Chicago Bears to win the division this year.
I'm trying to tell y'all, all signs point to them boys right there.
I know it's crazy.
I know it is.
I'm going to take Caleb Williams, Ben Johnson, and that Bears organization because
Yeah, thank you.
Because that's who's winning. That's who's winning.
I gotta hop in right here. I'm sorry, I gotta hop in right here. Let's not do the Ben Johnson thing. Ben Johnson can draw up a play on 3rd and 15. Ben Johnson can make first downs for his team. We know that Ben Johnson can pad the stats of your favorite fantasy player. But do we know that Ben Johnson can run an organization? Do we know that Ben Johnson can be a head coach? All this hype about Ben Johnson, I would say that Aaron Glenn is really going to be the better head coach than Ben Johnson. And I would say that the New York Jets have more wins this year than the Chicago Bears. I think Aaron Glenn is the best hire of those coordinators because Ben Johnson is the fancy name, but can he build organizational structure? You know what I mean? Can he do that? Yes, he's a good X's and O and get and can help the offense drive the team down the field. But what is he going to do with that defense? Is he going to help them make sure they fix that offensive line? We don't know what his organization.
Well, to be fair, they got Dennis Allen.
That's why you hire a defensive coordinator.
Yeah, Dennis Allen's really good at what he does too. Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. Listen, when I was in college, my head coach was a defensive minded head coach, and He allowed my offensive coordinator to handle the offensive side of football. You got to believe in the staff that you're putting together because that's what a head coach is. A head coach is just not just a mind in offensive decent. They can develop quarterbacks and stuff like that, but they have to manage an entire football team. And so you got to believe in what you're putting in there. But I just feel like I like a lot of the stuff the Bears have. I think it's just easy to always go with the safe picks when it comes to this stuff. But we're picking off potential what we're going to see. My Manny in the chat said you got to stop dying on this hill. But if you've been here since the beginning, if you know the lore, I'm a Caleb Williams believer. I was there before he got to the league saying he was the reincarnation of Patrick Mahomes. Now, I might have been too off the edge back then when I said that. I will concede that. However, I'm going with the Bears. I'm going to take the Bears to win the division this year. I'm going to believe in Caleb Williams. I'm going to believe in that jump. I think he has a lot of talent. And I know some people are not all in on Ben Johnson yet, but Uncle Corey, you also just came up here and said you believe in a mystery quarterback taking the team to the division title.
Yeah.
We all don't know what we don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Kevin O'Connell's organizational structure, and I've seen him coach the quarterback successfully time after time. I've seen Ben Johnson coach good offense. I've never seen Ben Johnson take a team to the playoffs. I've never seen Ben Johnson win a division championship as a head coach. That's all I'm saying. Let's pipe down on the Ben Johnson thing. That's all that I'm saying, Bama.
I'm not mad at that. I'm with my headache brother in crime. I do think that this Chicago Bears probably could shock some people. If not win the division, they probably will get a wild card bid. The other team I would probably take, if not the Bears, some telling me the Packers too. Jordan Love, very talented quarterback. Josh Jacobs, Xavier McKinney, that secondary. And a lot of people sleep. Don't sleep on that boy, Bo Melton. Everybody talking about Travis right now. The Packers got a two-way player too. And I think that boy really is the truth. He turned a few heads. I know his OTAs, all that stuff. But they got somebody over there cooking right now, man. I really wouldn't sleep on Jordan Love right now, man. Like, I think, like you said, this division is wide open right now.
Who's the best coach in that division?
It's Dan.
I'm gonna go with Campbell.
Even though Matt LaFleur has how many 13-win seasons?
I agree.
That's what I was about to say.
I think
tough, bro. I mean,
it's tough, but I think Campbell. I think what he's done has just been a little bit more impressive.
No, I like
Detroit.
LaFleur better though. More often.
I think sometimes you got to remember LaFleur came into something that was already kind of ready made. Dan Campbell established a culture and took them to new heights.
There you go.
Is that crazy to say?
What you got? What do you think? NFC North, Trey. Hop in here.
Man, looking at it, I really like the Lions. I know they lost their coordinators, but I feel like they have a great team. I love Jahmyr Gibbs, and I think their defense is still solid. And Aiden Hutchinson, he's been having talks. He says he's feeling great. I know every player's going to say that about themselves when they hurt. Right. They're going to say that to keep their stock high. But I truly believe it. I mean, he looks pretty good. But I will say I do believe the Packers will win the division, though. I think Jordan Love is a great quarterback. They have a decent O-line. They have arguably a top 10 defense. So, and they also signed Nate Hobbs. I feel like this team is great. I feel like this team has a great chance to win the division. I also feel like the JJ McCarthy hype is a little bit too high. I feel like we buying into that a little bit too early. I don't know if he's able to bring a whole team to win the division. I mean, especially looking at this division, I mean, it's going to be hard to come out with a win to win this division with all these teams, like all these great teams. The Bears, they're good, but I mean, also you still got to they didn't draw up for Caleb Williams correctly last year. I mean, I don't think that's going to change either. I don't think that the moves that the Bears made are going to be that detrimental and really change they season that much. I'm not believing into that, so I'm definitely going with the Packers to win the NFC North. That's what I'm choosing.
I think it's solid right there. The Packers. I think Jordan Love, if he can slow up with those interceptions, I think he can be an MVP candidate. I think Jordan Love's a better football player than Jalen Hurts is, and I also think that Jahmyr Gibbs. I also think Jahmyr Gibbs is the best running back in the NFL. To me,
You said NFL?
in the National Football League, Jahmyr Gibbs, because he doesn't need as much touches as Saquon does.
Touches as Saquon?
Jahmyr Gibbs is a home run hitter.
Do you mean like when guys like Derrick Henry, Bijan
Derrick
Robinson,
Henry run the ball 300 times? Jamal Gibbs don't need to run the ball 300 times to put up those kind of numbers.
I don't think he can.
That's not fair.
And what he can do out the backfield as well. What he can do out the backfield as a 10 yards to catch, an 8, 9.
Yeah, but he also shares the backfield with another running back.
And he's still dominant.
I'm with you. I got Jahmyr Gibbs as a top 5 guy. I used to get in arguments, so I thought he's better than my boy out in Bijan.
But
you look at Gibbs last year. Gibbs
touches are designed. Almost every one of his touches that are not between the tackles are designed to operate in space, which is not a bad thing. I'm saying that's like he's elite at being in open field. I think he's a good in-between ball handler, but I think if you're just talking just pure rushing, like his ability to run between the tackles and also to be able to get outside, to run the ball 20-plus yards, 5+ yards, 3 yards, third down, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. I think Saquon Barkley has proven, or even Christian McCaffrey.
Let's not forget Derrick Henry.
Any three of them.
250 carries at 5 yards a pop, 50-something catches at 10 yards a pop. That is Christian McCaffrey. That's
He is not Christian McCaffrey. I think this is what I'm talking
Christian
about.
McCaffrey.
But the guys that Swiper is talking about are guys who the offense is revolving around those skill sets. I mean, the reality is with Jahmyr Gibbs is he's great. I would argue he's top 5, top 10. I think he's absolutely electric, and I think the home run hitter. That is exactly what he is. He's probably top 2 most dynamic.
Wait a minute, J-Rob.
What happened?
In the same division, mind you, Josh Jacob was going crazy last season.
With a lot of
crazy last year. He's a super durable in between the tackle runner.
Yeah.
Fast as all get out, will run by you. Dominant third down running back, goal line running back, and he's a pass blocker. In the same division.
Yeah.
So I'm saying that I think Jahmyr is great. Don't get me wrong. But before you even went to Jahmyr Gibbs, I was about to bring up Josh Jacobs. Josh might be the best all-around running back in that division, and I think that's going to help Jordan Love a lot. Like Jacobs is elite. He just has the stain of the Raiders on him. I think still is why people look down on him. Corey,
which he had 1,000 yards every year with the Raiders too. So.
He was crazy last season.
Yeah,
Corey.
I think the way Jahmyr Gibbs is played is perfect to his skill set right now. I agree with Swipe. Would you demand Jahmyr Gibbs to be every down, third down blocking? I don't know if you're going to get the best out of him if he's that.
I don't need Jahmyr Gibbs to carry the ball 300 times. I want to keep Jahmyr Gibbs fresh. I like that home run hitting ability. I like the fact that anytime he get the football in his hands, it could be a house call. Josh Jacobs needs touches, and with 300 touches last year, he averaged a little over 4 yards a pop. That's what I'm saying. I want the more explosive, younger football player.
But we say that. But hold on, can I throw something out there? Are we saying 4 yards a pop like that's a bad thing?
No, it's not.
I learned in football that 3 yards on first down is a successful play.
Yeah, but you don't want no running back carrying the ball 300 times.
One of them had the second best offensive line in the NFC last year, like in a much more stable situation in Jahmyr Gibbs. I think Jahmyr is talented, but he also had a much better situation. Yeah. Him and David Montgomery last year. But again, it's no slight to Jahmyr either. It's just like the situation. I think Josh Jacob being limited by the injuries around him, including the quarterback play around him last year. Not blaming. I like Jordan Love too. I think all those things contributed to why some of those numbers were lower than they would be in a more stable situation. But even with that, Josh was still really good last year.
So Corey, you said he don't need all of those carries. But see, the thing is, when you say he don't need all of those carries, you put more pressure on the quarterback. And guess who their quarterback is? Jared Goff. I for damn sure don't want the volume of my offensive production in Jared Goff hands. So you want a running game. You want a running back where you can, even though you don't want to give him the ball 300, you want a running game where you can give him the ball 300 times because it alleviates the pressure of your quarterback. And if I got a quarterback like Jared Goff who tripping over his own feet, and now they got to draw up plays for him to trip up. Like, dude, I don't think y'all understand just how sad that was. Like, yeah, we could be like, oh, yeah, that was a cool play. But it all stemmed from him tripping over his own feet, bro. Like, that was just bad. So if you're talking about we don't have to give him that many carries, you essentially saying that I really think that Jared Goff can really win us the game. I don't want to be in a situation where I'm relying on Jared Goff.
Jared Goff was balling last year too, though, y'all.
It was like 15-2 last year. Jared Goff went
37 touchdowns last year. He had a 112 rating. Like
I feel what y'all saying, but when we get to the playoffs, them boys look real suspect, bro. Like
they also had a ton of injuries. Nobody was more banged up in the postseason than the Lions were last year. Nobody was.
But I feel what you're saying. But when we look back at the playoffs, just from an outside looking in, Jared Goff and Sam Darnold, those was the biggest two. They had the best records, powerful teams, and look, what do you know? Choke artist, man.
You mean Justin Herbert? My bad.
Hey, you know I'm ultra long. Hey, I ain't mad at that either.
Trey, get in there, put the stamp on this conversation, and then we're going to hop into the NFC, to the AFC West, because there's an MVP candidate in the AFC West, and I'll tell you who it is as soon as Trey closes the NFC play.
And before we go to the AFC, I want to knock out these.
Hey, Bama, go ahead.
No. I'm just saying, Trey, go ahead. But before we go to the AFC, I'm gonna knock out these super chats because we got a lot of super chats.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, I like I said, I definitely got the Packers. That's who I'm rocking with. I got the Packers coming out of NFC North, like, and I got the Lions coming in at number 2 still. I think the Vikings, I mean, JJ McCarthy, yeah, he has a lot of potential, especially with the coaching staff that they have, but I don't think that's going to be enough. I don't think that's going to be enough to compete with the Lions or the Packers. And I know Jordan Love, you know, they say he throws a lot of picks and stuff like that, but I believe that he's gonna settle in. I think that he's been getting better for sure. I mean, if you watch him in the mini camp that they had, the OTAs, I think he's been playing a lot better, which, given, yes, it is practice, it is scripts, but I believe in him, man. I think he has some great receivers around him. And yeah, I think they could do some big things. I definitely got the Packers winning the NFC North.
All right, AFC. Okay, go ahead, Bama. My bad.
So we had a few super chats, man. You know, we ain't like El Hosran and wait till the 99th hour to read super chats that was pertaining to topics 41 days ago. I love you though, Ron. The Tribe won with the $5. When your weakest link on the team is a Super Bowl MVP, you know what time it is. Looking for Jahad Campbell to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. I agree with you. I don't know how the Eagles keep doing it. They can't keep getting away with this. Getting them late round superstar picks. Jahad Campbell next to Braun. That shit is finna feed families next year. Oh my goodness. Risto Scott. I'm not even finna try to do that. I'm sorry, bro. Thank you for the $5, X. We just go with X. Hasn't been a repeat champion in the NFC East for 20 seasons. Giants winning 9 games this year, by the way. Dev, thank you for the $1, bro.
Yeah.
That boy said Omar sold the Patriots will win it all the next 2 years. Damn, why you do Mars like that, Alan L. W Pressbox, appreciate the $5, brother. Colin Miller, who is better in their respective sport, 2025 Eagles or 2025 Thunder?
Eagles. Not even close. Yeah, not even close.
And the last super chat, Colin again with the $2. Is Baker Mayfield top 10 after last season? I think so.
I think so.
Dylan Librian became a YouTube member. Alex Brackett, Swipe, I respect all your takes on the panel, but I feel like you're in your element talking football. Respect the Lions, King of the North. Swipe, but they don't really know you do that. They don't know you really do this.
They don't know the lore.
They don't know Swipe, bro. Like,
they don't know the lore.
Swipe not new to this football, bro. Like, you know, he true to this football stuff. That's why we had to recruit him over here. He's home, bro. He's always been a football guy. He's just home, man. We smoking good old famous catnip today. Gibbs not close to the best RB in the league. Shout out the guys, though.
Well, I want to defend Corey here a little bit. Okay, could be fair. The best runner of the football last year, any position, like quarterback, ball carrier, quarterback and ball carrier, running backs. It was Jahmyr Gibbs. Like he averaged basically 0.14 EPA per rush last year. So like in terms of efficiency of volume, he is correct. It is Jahmyr Gibbs. But then, like I said, you got to get the phone booth conversation. You know, running back in the phone booth, Saquon, CMC, Henry, you know, Gibbs,
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I'm probably taking Saquon still. Bro. That's my dog, man.
Appreciate you for the 5, Trent, and all in the chat. Go get that boy a follow. Got a lot of interviews with Xavier McKinney over there. Shout out to Trent. He doing big things over there. Salute, Trent. Appreciate the $5, my brother.
Yes, sir.
The Tribe won. Will J.J. McCarthy have a season in his career better than Sam Darnold's season last year? I say no. I say yes. I mean,
yeah, maybe.
All right, Corey. Back to your topics, boss man.
Let's get into the AFC West. The AFC West, much like the NFC North, could be considered the best division in professional football. You have 3 Hall of Fame head coaches in the AFC West: Andy Reid, Sean Payton, Pete Carroll, and a possible in Harbaugh. You got the best team, pound for pound. You got the NFL's current version of a dynasty in the Kansas City Chiefs. And then you got everybody else essentially trying to catch them. The Raiders should upgrade with an organizational builder and Pete Carroll. You already seen the Chargers start to make advances, and you already seen the Broncos start to make advances. And yes, I do have the Kansas City Chiefs winning this division again, but by the end of this season, Bo Nix will be an MVP candidate. Yes, that is right. Bo Nix will be an MVP candidate. Bo Nix is not a game manager. Bo Nix is a game changer. He can get it done on the ground. He can get it done in the air. And as he gets more comfortable in Sean Payton's system, Bo Nix is going to become one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, Swiper.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think on the Bo front, I've had a lot of thoughts about this, y'all. And I think it's important to note, man, the last 11 weeks of the year, Bo Nix had a 105 passer rating, 2,673 yards, 25 passing touchdowns, and just 7 interceptions. Like,
he was impressive last year.
Yeah, that's not
impressive.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy, y'all. I'm like, I you know what I mean? I don't know where he finishes the MVP stuff, but if he bounces, if he continues that through year 2, Corey, I think you have a great argument. I think clearly this is the second best or first best offensive line in football. I think Quentin Matters is the best right guard in football. I think, you know, the receiving core, you know, we'll see Pat Bryant, Cortland Sutton, and obviously, you know, I think Sims, Mims Jr., and then
Mims is gonna be dynamic.
Evan Ingram's good. Like, they have like a lot more. But y'all, really, the question is, I think this defense is about to be like
explosive,
wild,
explosive.
Wild.
In addition to Jahdae Barron, I'm just saying about Jahdae Barron.
Right.
Jahdae Barron thinks the defensive back position at an extremely high level. He is a defensive back. When you first of all, you got PS2, the best corner in football, locking down, traveling with your ones. But I think Jahdae Barron, y'all, I would sprinkle a little money on his DPO, his rookie of the year for defensive player, because he is the type of DB that you kind of just tell him to go out there and play football. You put him in that as a nickel corner and let him do multiple jobs for you because he's a great tackler. He's great in coverage. But I think screw the physical ability. He's thinking the game at such a high level. I understand people are upset he won the Thorpe over Travis Hunter. But if you turn on the Jahdae Barron tape, it is teach tape of how to play modern day nickel defensive back. And so adding him, I think he was I still feel like the Broncos stole him where they got him at.
Well, I thought he was going top 12. I mean, I
had him as a top 10 pick. I grade him top 10 pick. He's a plug and play corner, despite everything else they have already. I mean,
they got Damari Mathis.
Crazy to say he could be Tyrann Mathieu light, maybe. I mean, I see the ability. He has everything you're looking for.
Dre Greenlaw added to the room. Talanoa Hufanga added to the room. Jahdae. Their pass rush is elite. Like, yeah,
all right. Listen, here's another thing about this team, right? This is a betting tip right here. When it comes to week betting against the spread, the Broncos are a very good team to bet on because the Broncos don't give up touchdowns. They have the best red zone defense in the NFL. They can hold you to kicking field goals. That makes a difference in the number and the point spread. So let's stick that right there. But Bama, here's the thing. Can they win the division? Can they win? Mind you, this was the team that should have beat Kansas City, give them Kansas City their first loss last year, but Kansas City blocked that punt. Now, in a playoff game versus Buffalo, they showed that they still weren't ready. Can the Denver Broncos overtake the Kansas City Chiefs to win the AFC West?
I think so. The reason why I say I think so, in the beginning of the season, Bo Nix was very conservative, but that's given any quarterback. And, I'm a little nerd. I love listening to old players talk about coaches and stuff. And what stood out for me was when Drew Brees was talking with somebody, he was trying to explain to people how difficult a Sean Payton's offensive system really is. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the conservatism from Bo Nix came from him really learning that offense. I remember Drew Brees gave a play, bro. Like, I started getting like dizzy, like listening to it. I was like, what? That's what Sean Payton do? So the fact that the back half, that when we really saw Bo Nix be Bo Nix, that was essentially him learning the offense. Like, he's kind of got a mastery of the offense. Yeah. So the fact that you can learn the offense of that magnitude that fast, the sky's only the limit, dog. And Bo Nix, the tools that he has, 6'4", strong arm, tough. Bro, I ain't gonna go out on too far of a limb, bro, but we might be looking at the next second coming of a John Elway, bro. And I think that, I know people finna look crazy. I know old heads gonna get mad at that, but I like doing stuff like this. The catnip hitting early in the morning. I think Bo Nix, because if you say he got a potential to be an MVP, we gotta be, that's basically what we saying. I think Bo Nix, people talk about the weapons, but he got one of his dudes over there, Troy Franklin.
Bo Nix is the weapon.
They got the running game, man, was a real upgrade. Yeah, getting RJ Harvey, and then getting what's the name, bro?
Evan Ingram.
Evan Ingram. But they got what's his name, dude? 27, played for the Chargers last year, bro. Slipping my mind right now.
You're talking about
J.K. Dobbins. Yeah, J.K. Dobbins. Their running game.
Ingram.
They had the worst running game in the AFC last year, probably. So, like, getting two legit running backs. Yeah, look, I'm not with the John Elway stuff yet, Bama. If it can, Bama, by the end of the year, Trey, J-Rob, Corey, can he solidify himself as a top 10 QB in the NFL? I think it's the question.
Who? Bo Nix? 100%. Bo Nix will be in there. Trey, and then J-Rob. Let me get your thoughts on Bo Nix and your AFC West champions. Then I got a question to close it off.
I'm for sure believing in the Bo Nix hype, for sure. I think he has potential to definitely be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I don't know about John Elway, but I definitely think he has potential to be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And I also do think the Broncos will perform a lot better this year. 10-7 last year isn't horrible, but I definitely think they'll do a lot better this year. I don't think they're doing better than the Chiefs. I still had the Chiefs coming out of the division, but I do think they'll be a close second. They'll give them a run for their money. And I feel like people are sleeping on the Chargers too. Let's not forget about Justin Herbert. He's a great quarterback. And he definitely has a great chance to give the Broncos a run for their money for the number 2 spot. So I feel like we're kind of counting out Justin Herbert a little bit too. I mean, this is also one of the best quarterbacks in the league as well.
I'm sleep on him. I'm done. I'm done with y'all. Listen here. I get it. He's tall, pretty hair, can throw the ball a mile, but when it comes to put it together, I'm sleep on him. I'm done. The pick sixes.
Go ahead, J-Rob.
Yeah, so I'm snoozing too. Wake me up later. I'm probably gonna say I'm still taking the Chiefs. I think regardless, that division has begun and ended with the Chiefs. So for me to pick another winner out of that division, somebody has to just go ahead and take it. So I'm not gonna bet against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. And even in years where we say the Chiefs are a down year, this is that, they're not this, they're not that, they still end up right in the thick of it season after season. So I'm not going to bet against them. It's just as simple as that. And in terms of Bo Nix, I mean, I was really impressed. Even as great as Jaden Daniels was and how electric he was, one of the greatest rookie seasons of all time, I think the biggest surprise was Bo Nix because I just did not see I think he's a franchise quarterback for them. Yeah, like he was – I mean, he's probably going to be a better pro than he was a college player. Like I mean, he has a lot of skills, and I think Bama really brought up one of the best points about this is that Sean Payton offense is difficult, and you kind of saw him gradually out the year begin to open up. That's when the deep shots started to come. The plays got explosive, and I think that really just comes with comfort. I think any football player will tell you, when you know what you're doing already, you're playing at the highest level you could play at. You're just playing fast. You're not thinking the game. And it just seemed throughout the course of the year, he just stopped thinking the game, and he started elevating. And so I'm excited to see what he looks like in year 2 with a lot more comfort under his belt with this offense. And I think they have some great weapons around him. And I think y'all already know the defense is going to be great. So I think everything they need is right in front of them. They can steal the division, but not betting against Patrick Mahomes at this juncture.
All right. Everybody agree you would rather have Bo Nix over Justin Herbert.
No, I ain't saying that.
No,
I'm not saying that.
I knew that corner right there was going to be. I would take Bo Nix over Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert has done nothing. He has done nothing.
And Bo ain't done nothing either. That's my dog. But Bo ain't done nothing either, respectively.
He's been in the league for 1 year. He's been in the league for 1 year. But go ahead. Tell me why Justin Herbert and his long flowing locks turn you on so much.
He's the most. He's the most at the most yards and TDs of any quarterback in the first 5 years ever. I think that matters.
It does.
I think the playoffs have been horrible. I think last year 21-3 touchdown interception ratio is impressive. That's still really good. He now, again, for my EPA people out there, he was mid in EPAs. He was like 14th per play in the NFL last year, so that's not great. But I think he's still a very good quarterback. Ball placement's elite. He processes the field really well. I don't want to be disrespectful, but I also can see a world where Bo Nix overtakes him. I just wouldn't be willing to say that today, right now. But you asking me the question, Corey, who wins the AFC West? I think the Broncos have such a dominant defense, and with an improved offense and another year from Bo Nix and a better offensive line, I am willing to take the Denver Broncos winning the AFC West next year.
All right. I got Bo Nix. I think Justin Herbert, in this role that he's going to play in Harbaugh's system, is a game manager. His job is to turn around and hand the football off and don't throw interceptions. But can you give him the football in a 2-minute drive, right? And you need to go down the field and score a touchdown. I'm taking Bo Nix over Justin Herbert in that situation right there.
All right. We have to relax. Look, I get it. And the fact that I'm even in this situation, because everybody, if you know the lore of PC, I have been like the biggest, let's pump the brakes on Justin Herbert of anybody. I've been the anti-Justin Herbert face for a while, just because I've just asked people to stop making him a top 5 guy when there's just other things that we just needed to see. I just said, could we just slow down? That's all I've really ever asked when it's come to Justin Herbert. I get it. He's 6'5". I get it. He throws far. I get it that he's electric. But, guys, Bo Nix looked great he got better as the year went on. But there's still – because if you're saying he's better than Justin Herbert, where do you have him?
Where do I have him?
In the hierarchy of quarterbacks? Because that's where this thing will get slippery if that's where we're going with this. Because if you're saying he's better than
Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott hasn't been the same player. The injuries have caught up to Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott has not been the same player since he broke the leg. Dak Prescott is not a type of quarterback you need in today's NFL. He doesn't scramble. He can't get anything done when the play breaks down. He can't go outside the pocket. You need Dak Prescott as a statue that sit back there and throw to good wide receivers and throw a lot of interceptions in bad spots. I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan. I've seen every snap of Dak Prescott's career. He continues to get worse. Bo Nix is better than Dak Prescott. I would put him somewhere.
He's top 10 to you. He got to be a top 10 quarterback to you.
Who, Dak Prescott?
No.
Bo Nix is in the top 10.
So can we get your 10 quarterbacks, please? We have to now.
You got the dudes at the top, right?
Yep.
Lamar,
Mahomes, Allen.
Burrow.
Who's the next 6?
Mahomes.
The next 6. Mm-hmm.
Then I will go Jaden Daniels.
Yes.
Then I would go Matthew Stafford, still putting him up there, Matthew Stafford.
I'm fine with that.
And then I would go Bo Nix.
Over
You got him
Jalen
as the
Hurts.
eighth best guy.
No, Jalen Hurts, then Bo Nix.
You got him as the 8th best guy.
Jared Goff.
He's a better player than Jared Goff.
Better than Jordan Love.
If you was to put Bo Nix in that offense, he would be a better player than Jared Goff.
So you got him better than Jordan Love, CJ Stroud.
I'll put Jordan Love. I'll put him
Baker
on. Okay, I like Jordan Love better. I'm sorry. Jordan Love is over better. I take Bo Nix over CJ Stroud.
Well, yeah, CJ Stroud had a good rookie year, but he slipped a lot last year. Not just
Well,
offensive
yeah,
line.
that's
But it was also CJ. I watched every single throw of CJ last year. It was also
CJ
CJ.
Stroud goes as Nico Collins.
No, he's my dog, though. He's my dog. I'm not, no, Bama, don't get me wrong. I think he's clearly a top 10 QB. Don't get me wrong. But, like, you know what I mean? He did have some slippage. Now, but again, Corey, if you're telling me weeks 8 through 18, cool. If you're telling me, matter of fact, first half of the Bills playoff game,
Yeah,
cool. But I'm saying, like, we got to get there. If Bo comes out, what's the first 4 games of the Broncos next year?
The first 4
I feel like that way we can get some.
So let's look at the Broncos, and then we got to move on. But I knew this one would be, and it's gonna get even tougher next segment because the Titans, that's 1-0, correct? We agree across the board. That's 1-0.
Yes.
All right. The next is the Colts. At the Colts, that's 2-0.
2-0.
Then they go to play the Los Angeles Chargers. I got them at 3-0. Then they're home for the Bengals.
No
4-0.
defense still. No Trey
4-0.
Henderson, maybe.
Yeah.
I got him.
And they got a lot of shit going on.
Hey,
too,
Dante
right
Barron on T. Higgins, not Riley Moss.
now. Yeah.
Woo! Hey, Bama.
Yeah. Shit.
Hey.
Yeah, yeah.
Winning 13 games?
Yeah,
Warren,
that's what I was saying, Swipe. I like y'all a lot this year.
Yeah,
I like y'all a lot this year.
Yeah, I got y'all
like
finishing second. I got y'all finishing second in the division. I'm going to take the Chiefs. I got y'all finishing second. So I got y'all as a playoff team for sure.
Yeah, just out of respect for Mahomes, I always got to take
Because you know,
it.
best receiver in the league is Jamar Chase. He be looking like a ghost.
All right, let's get into the
Jefferson.
AFC. Let's get into the AFC North. Division won by the Baltimore Ravens last year. Obviously, only thing the Baltimore Ravens need to do is take the next step, and that is go to the AFC Championship game and win it, and take Lamar Jackson to the Super Bowl. Another minus money favorite. Then you have the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns quarterback situation. The Deshaun Watson contract was the worst contract in the history of professional sports. Let's get that out the way right there. The Pittsburgh Steelers at some point are going to have to get a new head coach because it just ain't working. If you was the head coach, right, and you run that organization, when Ben Roethlisberger was not letting you draft a quarterback to develop year after year after year, you should have sat Ben Roethlisberger ass down, said we drafting a quarterback because now they have no quarterback. And you can't win in this league without no quarterback. Now, the Cincinnati Bengals, this is a joke of a franchise. The 7-on-7 football team, Cincinnati Bengals. They play football on grass. Joe Burrow threw the football 660 times last year. In the AFC North, they play outside on grass in cold weather. They don't pace the game. They don't have a good offensive line. They don't let their defense breathe. Their defense plays twice as many plays as the offense. This is a poorly ran organization, and nobody ever talks about firing Zach Taylor. It's the Baltimore Ravens division, and the rest of these teams, I would think that really after the Ravens, the best roster outside of quarterback is the Cleveland Browns.
I had to bust down my AP. Perfect time, man. Like don't sleep on them Browns, bro. I'm people say what they want. You can sleep. You can sleep. I had to bust down my AP. Perfect time, man. Come on. I had that ice around my neck and stay shine. Ice.
Somebody give me
Shador.
something, Trey. Somebody give me something. When is somebody?
Yo, you playing my song, man?
Shador FC. If Lamar don't get it done out of respect for King Lamar, if he don't get it done, let them boys sneak up in there with a wild card. I'm trying to tell you, that team is set up. If Shador is competent, just competent. He ain't even got to be nothing. Just competent.
True.
That team is scary. Denzel Ward, Myles Garrett, that team is scary. That team is scary. Now, I don't know
Graham too.
Mason Graham. I don't know what's going to happen with Quinshon Judkins. We don't know. But if he's able to play this year, that team is ridiculous this year. All Shador has to be is competent. Dave Njoku.
When will
just
Shador
has to be
start?
competent.
Swipe.
Week 1.
Week 3 the latest. I would say week.
He better be starting week 1. Have you seen that quarterback room?
They're going to play.
He's the best QB in the building.
They're going to play Joe Flacco.
Man,
week 3 is the latest. I'm gonna tell you why he's playing this year, because he sold $250 million worth of jerseys.
Okay, he's very popular.
They don't care about that.
Not going to be the week 1 quarterback.
Right.
He'll be the quarterback by week 6, week 7.
Wait, so you're saying they're going to wait just to be spiteful, not like just to
No, not to be spiteful. Don't throw him to. My thing is don't throw him to the wolves like that. That's how I would look at it.
Cam Ward getting thrown to the Broncos week 1.
You going? You come on now. You got Bengals, Ravens, Packers, Lions, Vikings. Jesus Christ.
That's the best time to get him out there. Joe Burrow can't beat Cleveland. I love Joe, my guy. He sucks versus Cleveland. So go ahead and throw him. And remember, first 2 weeks. Matter of fact, first 2 weeks for the Bengals, y'all to bye for the other team. They ain't finna show up. They finna be 0-2 for whatever reason again. Go ahead and throw Shador out there versus them.
That's also a sign of poor coaching too, when you're always terrible to start the season.
Agree.
I listen. I'm a Shador Sanders supporter. I love Shador Sanders. I think he's going to be the starting quarterback for this team at some point. But Shador is not going to be the week 1 starter. You know what I'm saying, Trey?
Yeah, I can completely agree. And honestly, I think it is spiteful. Honestly, I think drafting him in the 5th round was spiteful. I think
for sure
that was very crazy. So I mean, I feel like we should know what they might do. You know, like if you say the jersey sales, I mean, everybody knew Shador was coming in selling jerseys. The whole league knew Shador was coming in.
$250 million. That's different, gang.
So if they if teams really cared about that, he would have got drafted earlier. So I feel like it's a reason behind it, and I feel like it is spiteful too, though. I feel like
this is from inside. This is from inside a couple of organizations. Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, wanted to have meetings, regular meetings, weekly meetings with the OC and the quarterback coach of the team that drafted Shador Sanders, and that was the reason for the slide.
So I'm going to just chime into that point. So yes, I'm taking the Ravens to win the division. I'm rocking with Baltimore. I mean, Lamar Jackson, we already know. I'm not even finna go down that rabbit hole. We know where we're at with that. I'm just going to talk to Trey about the point I made about the jerseys, because I think sometimes we try to not act like politics don't exist in sports. Politics exists 100% in sports. And the reality is, Trey, who pulled the trigger? Who walked into that office and told them boys, go draft Shador? I don't care about the collusion. I don't care about the agenda. Who walked into that office and said, go get that boy? The owner. The owner went there and said, make that decision. And let's be honest, this is an overzealous owner. This is the guy who brought in Johnny Manziel, the Deshaun Watson contract. They have been craving for a star to come into Cleveland. Shador Sanders, the magnitude of him selling 250 million jerseys, which also, just so y'all know, $15 million commission off that, so it goes right to him. It's bad. That's bigger than some starters' salary this season. Shador Sanders is going to be in a situation where first game of the season, you trot out Joe Flacco, the first terrible drive by Joe Flacco, there's going to be a bunch of 12 jerseys in the crowd and people booing and chanting for this guy to get into the game. I don't think the decision to put him out there is going to take too long. He's the best quarterback in the room. Look at the room. I mean, does anybody really think Dylan Gabriel was a better prospect or player?
He got drafted higher than him.
That's all that doesn't say anything because everybody's still. I mean, you're into journalism, Swiper.
Third round pick is crazy.
Cleveland, all of Cleveland's socials, even the Browns themselves. It is Shador Field.
I know.
Let's not act like we don't see what's going on here. The proof is in the pudding. So when I look at Shador Sanders going into an NFL situation, any offensive line he has in the NFL will be better than everything he had from an offensive line standpoint at the University of Colorado. If there's any quarterback of this class that has shown you how to play within chaos, it has been Shador Sanders. He's probably the best at it. And so no matter what, when I look at his intangibles, the eyes, there's just no way the fan base is going to allow him to not be trotted out on that football. And I'm going to say this. No matter what we try to deflect, Trey, they all see that boy in practice every day.
Every day. Yep.
Every day.
Players too.
There is a reason why they've been tracking. When have we ever tracked OTA stats? You know why? Because, Trey, the people are going to keep the Browns honest. The people are going to decide that y'all are not going to cheat your way out of this. And if this kid is the best in the room, because every media member has that boy under a microscope. They are at every practice as well. They are going to go on their shows and ESPNs and the FS1s, and they're going to say exactly what they saw. And if they see that he's the better guy and the Browns are not putting number 12 on the field, it's going to be the biggest controversy in football. My bad. Go ahead, Swipe.
Hey, I just want to add to that. I watched Josh Allen get drafted as a much worse quarterback, by the way, at Wyoming, against worse competition at Wyoming, and played worse than he did at Wyoming and went top 7. And then I watched Shador Sanders dominated Colorado with a horrible offensive line versus, I think, some really good football teams, and took a program that was bottom of the barrel and completely rebuilt it and got drafted in the 5th round. I'm telling you, Corey.
It definitely was. It definitely was something at play.
But they watching him every day. To J-Rod's point, and Corey, you know this, and football is different. In the NBA, you can get away with having a number 1 overall picker where your best player coming off the bench, Corey. You can do it. But in the NFL,
you cannot.
You out there with 11 every single play, and I know he's better than him. There ain't no way we going into the season with him on the bench and a worse guy playing over him.
All I'm saying is that he's not going to be the week 1 starter. Shador Sanders will not be the week 1 starter.
Corey, do you think they can make it 7 games without putting him on the field if they stink offensively?
Well, first of all, you got to look at the head coach. The head coach, Seifert, is also one of the best coaches of the quarterback in the NFL. Is that not correct?
Stefanski?
Yeah, Stefanski. I'm sorry, Stefanski. That's his calling card. That's his claim to fame. You've seen Joe Flacco play well in Cleveland. We've seen it happen even at his advanced age. All I'm saying is they're going to give Flacco the job first, but Sanders will be the quarterback after Flacco and take it the rest of the season.
I can agree with that.
I don't think he makes it 3 games without being a starter.
Joey, how old are you? Well, you was talking about old crusty Trent Williams. How old is old crusty Joe Flacco?
Joe Flacco, a quarterback and playing to their 40s.
He's a statue.
But he's still a quarterback. He don't have to get in the 3-point
stance
and
40.
And 25-year-old 4'2", 40 defensive lineman like
he's
Trent Williams.
40 years old. 40. He's twice the age of Trey.
Tom Brady was in his 40s winning Super Bowls.
He ain't Tom Brady, and he ain't on the Tom Brady plan either.
He's not Tom Brady.
He's not Tom Brady, but what I'm saying is in the NFL at quarterback, the way the league protects the quarterback, you can play until an advanced age. Listen, this is not when I used to say that Joe Flacco was elite. He is going to hold a job for the first month of the season until Shador Sanders takes over. Now, can we go to the AFC East, please?
Yeah,
for the Buffalo Bills.
Can we start this one?
Yeah, I got you, J-Rob. But the Buffalo Bills are the dominant team. They're going to win the division, in my opinion. I don't want to step on everybody, but the Bills are the dominant team. They're going to win the division. But I will say this. Do not be surprised if the New York Jets and the New England Patriots are in the playoffs in the AFC this year.
What?
The
Yes.
Patriots.
Yes, the New England Patriots, head coached by Mike Vrabel, and the New York Jets, head coached by Aaron Glenn, are both teams that can be in the playoffs in the AFC this year. J-Rob, break down the AFC East for us.
I've never been more excited for a New York Jets season. As everybody knows, I'm a diehard Jet. I'm rocking. I'm taking my boys to win the division this year, to dethrone the Bills. Listen, there are some things and agendas that I have on the table that I never believed my New York Jets could do it all for me in 1 year. I have been a staunch Justin Fields defender and supporter through his career. Everybody knows every year I take my team as a fan, my delusion. I don't care. I'm true to this, not new to this. Justin Fields and the New York Jets are going to have one of the most memorable seasons we've had in a long time. I think we win the division. I think Justin Fields arrives, becomes the franchise quarterback in New York. I think Garrett Wilson has an offensive player of the year type of season. I think our running back duo is going to be a top 5 duo in the league. Our defense will be great. I think the conversation around Sauce Gardner is going to change after the year ends. Aaron Glenn is going to have them boys firing on all cylinders. Corey, you told me he's better suited for the job than Ben Johnson. So that means you believe in my head coach. I believe in my head coach. And I think there's going to be a level of accountability in that Jets organization and in the locker room that we haven't had since, I don't know, maybe since Rex. So I'm going to sniff the catnip, and I'm going to take my boys, the New York Jets, to win the division. I believe in my guys. And, and this could be a little bit of delusion, but this will also prove my point that Justin Fields is a competent NFL quarterback, which I think he is. And I also finally see my boys back in the playoffs because it's been a really, really long time, fellas.
Bama,
I'm itching for a playoff appearance.
Bama, let's go. AFC East. You got the Miami Dolphin jersey on. Earlier in the show, I said the Atlanta Falcons were a beige spot on the beige wall. The Miami Dolphins are a beige spot on the beige wall.
Oh, my gosh. So, first off, we'll probably go as far as Tua takes us. Anytime Tua's on the field with his anticipation, the way he gets rid of the ball, that offense is very, very, very potent, the way he distributes the ball to everybody. But that's just the caveat with Tua. Unfortunately, he had the brain injuries that he's had. He's had the broken hip, messed up ankles from playing with Alabama. So he's really a fraction of the athlete he used to be. I think we got a couple steals. Ollie Gordon getting picked up in the 6th round. That's on my radar. A lot of people sleep on that. I played fullback in college, so I'm real big on running backs. Just to add to Devon A-Chain to where he's just not taking the whole butt of the carries, I actually like Ollie Gordon over there. And I feel like getting Quinn Ewers in the 7th round was a steal of insurance. A lot of people low on Quinn, not me. I love his release. I think he has a big arm for the NFL. I know he got Zach Wilson over there, but I'm sleep on him. I think, man, I really think that we can – the receivers that we got the Cheetah Twins over there. I'm going to give y'all a word right now, chat. Lacinix Jubitus. That's what Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill are. Cheetahs. So, I mean, I get it. We struggle in cold weather. But if we could figure out a way, we just got to get over the hump of beating the Bills. I'll admit that. The Bills own us right now. We got to figure out a way to get over the hump of beating them. But, yeah, I said all that to say.
Damn, have you seen your last half of the year?
It probably will be the Bills. It's just, bro, Tua does this shit where he gets concussions throughout the game and he don't say nothing. And then his play just plummets. And then we go back like, yeah, Tua sustained another brain. I'm like, bro, what? Get him out of there. I don't know what is going on where they probably just won't do the deceased on the field. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, when his brain isn't scrambled, he looks like a top 3 quarterback. He was up for the MVP. He was in MVP talks. And don't look like that crazy. We put 70 on y'all. Don't look like that.
Top 3 what?
When Tua was healthy in the beginning of the last season, Tua literally was a top 3 up in the MVP race. Like, don't look crazy.
MVP race. Man,
Yeah. Tua literally was a top 3 quarterback. It was just once the injury set in, brain got scrambled some more. Yes, you're right. It went down in the back half. Tua doesn't play too well in the cold. Neither that whole team plays well in the cold. Now we got to address some things.
They're soft. The Dolphins are soft relative to the NFL, bro. That's really the problem.
I mean,
no, they are. They are bad. They are.
Their advantage is their home field. What they have to be able to do is bring people down to 90-degree weather in January and gas them, but they can't never get to the point where they can do that. In my opinion, they have to play to the advantage of their stadium. Trey, let me get your thoughts on the AFC East.
Man, I'm definitely gonna have to go with the Bills. It hurts to say that I'm really not a big fan of the Bills, but I think Keon Coleman and Josh Allen, I think they're gonna be special. I think that right there, that's gonna be a special duo. And I don't think any other team in the AFC is competing with that. I think the Jets will definitely improve. I don't know about winning the AFC East, but they definitely gonna improve from where they were last year. The Dolphins, I think that quarterback situation, I feel like that's holding them back. Tua, he goes through a lot, but when Tua is at the top, when he's playing good, the Dolphins look really nice. So I don't want to completely, count them out, but I do feel like the Bills are going to win it and the Jets are going to come in number 2. And I don't see the hype in the Patriots. I know I see the new head coach, Mike Vrabel, but I don't see the Patriots being able to make improvements this fast in this 1 year. I don't buy the hype in Drake May. I think he is he is pretty good, but I think people tend to hype him up a lot. They tend to hype Drake May up a lot.
Right quick fantasy tip. Mason Taylor, the tight end for the New York Jets, tight end, son of Miami Dolphin great Jason Taylor. He's a late round flyer. The Jets are going to be a very tight end dependent team. You'll be able to get him for a song in your drafts. Mike Vrabel is an organizational builder. That's all it is. You don't need fancy players. You don't need the big name players. Give him 12 guys and a whistle, and he's going to turn the organization around. Their win total this year opened up at 7.5, and it pushed right up to 8.5. The New England Patriots can be a 9-win team. Swiper, close us out on the AFC East.
No, it's the Bills. It's the Bills until further notice. They're going to walk through to winning that division. It's a fight for second and third. A bunch of Jets are cool. Dolphins cool. There's a world where the Dolphins finish the 4th seed. I think the Patriots are going to be really good. They're going to make them play very hard. But shout out, it's the Bills division. 100%.
And nothing even else to say about it, huh? No,
it's just the quickest one.
I can't bait nobody with the Jets and the Patriots making the playoffs.
It's going to be making the playoffs. I really do.
It's going to be
who's out of the playoff next year. Then
it's going to be a 10-win team in the AFC that doesn't make the playoffs.
Chargers, maybe.
I think it's the Chargers.
We still got another division left to go, though.
It could be the Texans or the Jags too, depending on how that division rolls out.
So let's talk about that division before we get ready to get up out of here. Thank everybody for rocking and rolling with us on the debut episode. The Press Box. We'll be here each and every Sunday morning, taking you up to kickoff beginning at 11 a.m. East. So we're gonna have you covered with everything. Get your fantasy lineup set, get you ready to bet, your prop bets, whatever the case may be. We got it covered. But we'll be back throughout the course of the preseason, taking you all the way through Super Bowl Sunday. The AFC South, a division won last year by the Houston Texans. And listen, we kind of think this is one of the weaker divisions in the AFC. The Indianapolis Colts can't seem to get it together. Anthony Richardson may not have been a great pick after all. The Jacksonville Jaguars have what everybody thought was a generational quarterback in Trevor Lawrence. The jury is still out on him. And Tennessee Titans could be the worst team in the NFL this year, even though I think that's probably going to be the New Orleans Saints. J-Rob, set us off AFC South.
But, man, I can't believe I'm saying this, y'all. But I'm taking the Jags to an AFC South.
Oh, boy.
I think it is.
I'll take that action.
I think it is time. It is time to see Duval rise. It is time for Trevor Lawrence to step in to what he was brought in there to be. I think they paid him a lot of money, and I don't think that he necessarily played well enough to justify the extension. I kind of look at it like a basketball NBA contract before the second apron, where you kind of pay guys for potential. But between Trevor Lawrence, BTJ, Travis Etienne, I do think it is time to see them kind of, take control of the division. I mean, they have the talent there. And so I think I would, in most worlds, I think I'd take the Texans, but I do think it is time to see the Jags emerge as a player. I mean, they put a lot of work and a lot of money into Sunshine, a lot of investment. I think it's time for Sunshine to cash in on what that organization is put in front of him.
Sunshine. I can remember them saying this kid was going to be the next Peyton Manning. Here's my thing with the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? The roster, when you look at it, it's not horrible. As a matter of fact, it's pretty good. Travis Etienne can play. Bigsby can play. Brian Thomas Jr. could at one point be the best wide receiver in the league. He's that type of talent. Letting Travis Hunter play wide receiver, I think, is a mistake. He's a defensive back. They go pick up Diami Brown. They got Hines Allen, Trayvon Walker. There's good players on the team. The problem is when people get to Jacksonville, they don't get any better. The level of their play doesn't raise. So that tells me that somebody in the organization is not doing something right. So I have no faith in the Jacksonville Jaguars whatsoever.
Well, I'm taking the Texans. They have the arguably top 3 defense in the NFL, maybe higher. I think they have an elite pass rush with Anderson and Daniil Hunter. Their DBs are going to be incredible this year. Their inside linebacker play is going to be incredible this year. And Texans fans, I would say even beyond the offensive line, their offense fell apart when Nico went down.
Yes. He's the whole show. Nico is the whole show.
Nick Chubb and Joe Mixon. Those are the most important players in their offense. And they have 2 very good running backs. They have one elite tier 1 all-pro running back in Joe Mixon. Go watch him last year. He was that good. Nico Collins is the answer. And if Nico Collins is healthy, this is a top 10 offense in the NFL. That's how good Nico is. He is so dynamic, great route runner, third down, red zone, deep ball, screens, all of it. If Nico's healthy, y'all, I'm taking the Texans, and I'm taking them pretty comfortably in that division. Is
Nico better than Brian Thomas Jr.?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Nico is.
Listen,
Nico's closer. Nico. He's closer to 1 than people realize. Right. If you watch Nico, he's closer to 1 than people realize. He ain't Justin Jefferson for a lot of people. He's not Jamar. But if you watch him play football, he's closer to 1 than you realize.
I'm a Nico supporter, but I'm a Nico supporter. I believe that the Texans go as Nico goes. I truly do believe that. But I would say that. Yeah, I would give Nico the edge over Brian Thomas Jr.
I like the Texans. I like the Texans. The fact that he dealt with Nico Tank missing a lot of time and he was still able to get them to the playoffs. That's why I was like, I don't think CJ really had a slump. He just had to figure out how to operate with what he didn't have. The bad O-line play coming back. He did have a good run game with Joe Mixon, but quarterbacks need O-line to pass the ball. One of the more dependent positions in football, but if you got a good one, you got a good team. And CJ is a hell of a quarterback. I'm going to buy a lot of stock, fantasy football guy. I'm going to put a lot of stock in Jaden Higgins and John Mechie to replace those roles for Stephon Diggs and Tank Dell, Christian Kirk. I really like this Texans team a lot with their commander-in-chief, C.J. Stroud. That defense, that Jalen Petrie, we know what Derek Stingley is, top 3 cornerback in the league right now. Will, the Terminator Anderson, this team has a lot of superstar potential, especially in the AFC South.
And Azeez, he might be a little bit dirty for some of y'all. Azeez is cold. Yeah. Azeez is a really good inside linebacker. Gardner Johnson.
Then we got Henry Toto the other middle linebacker. Yeah,
they got the number 2 corner in football. To me, it's not even a conversation between him and Sauce Gardner. They have the number 2 corner in football in Stingley, and I think they are going to be done. I'm telling y'all, Stingley, Hunter, Anderson, and then CJ Gardner Johnson, Nico, Joe. If those players are healthy next year, they're pushing 11, 12 wins next season. That's how good they are.
Will they be in the divisional round of the playoffs?
I think they can get to the second round.
Yeah. I think they can get to the second round for sure.
That's not ridiculous.
So let's put them in the second round. Let's go second round of the NFL playoffs. Houston Texans go to the Buffalo Bills, right? Houston at Buffalo, round 2 of the NFL playoffs. This is January of 2026. I would say that the Buffalo Bills are a 4.5 point favorite in that game. You taking a number with Houston or you laying it with Buffalo?
Houston. I'm going
plus
Houston.
4.5. I'm taking Houston plus.
If it's 4.5, I'm probably gonna take the points.
Mm-hmm.
3-point game.
Them in Buffalo?
In
But
Buffalo,
they gotta play the
that's
cold,
all.
bro.
But think about it. CJ played for Ohio State, so I don't think playing in the cold is really nothing new to him. So don't forget that he played at Ohio State. Now it ain't like he played at Alabama or something. He played at Ohio State. They play in the cold up there in Ohio now. It get cold up there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it'll be a pick'em game. Honestly, I've kind of liked what I've seen out of CJ. I mean, I think he's one of the top 10 guys in the game for sure.
Buffalo, but the thing is, they might beat the old line for the Texans to death, though. That's the problem, bro. Like, they made. I mean, he just legit might not have any time, honestly.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, and I do want to say this too. My Jags take is kind of like the same logic we had about the Cardinals. Like, it's just we see it. What year is this for Trevor Lawrence?
This is way too
They're
deep.
drafted in what,
4
20?
or 5.
It's year 5, so it's not really that, like, if the Texans win it won't surprise me. It's just like I'm trying to, I want to see, that elevation that everybody talks about, because like you said, they were comparing him as a prospect to like the Andrew Lucks of the world, the Peyton Mannings of the world. Like, you still kind of want to see that come into fruition, but I think they did draft weapons for him to succeed, so we'll see.
All right. I'm ready to wrap this one up unless somebody else got something else. You know what I'm saying?
Man, great first episode. Great job, Corey. Great job, Bama Trey, J-Rob. Great first episode, man, for everybody. For real.
All right. Don't fret. We'll be back Wednesday night right here,
Yep,
8:30 p.m. Eastern time. Get some fantasy football talk. Continue to talk about who we like coming into the 2025 season. Want to thank everybody that dropped the super chats. Want to thank everybody for having an active chat as well. And we got you covered the whole season. For J-Rock, Bama, Trey, and Swiper, it's Corey Parson. We out.
Appreciate y'all.